Hi, welcome to Business Computing Essentials. Hopefully you've looked over the information on icon and are now watching this video before you start any work. The purpose of this class is to gain proficiency with Microsoft Office basic applications. And I'm going to be going over how this class is organized and the tool SIMnet that we use to accomplish the learning. So first, be sure that you have a University of Iowa email account that you are using. That is necessary because this is an online class and I will be communicating with you weekly via that email account. You can contact ITS if you have issues with that. The goal, as I said a minute ago, is to become proficient with Office. There are many organizations that use Office or similar products. And if you understand these products, you will be able to easily transfer the knowledge and skills. So we will spend the first unit on Word for word processing, the second unit on Excel for basically number calculations with a spreadsheet, the third unit on Introduction to a Database, and finally the fourth unit on presentation software, Microsoft PowerPoint. So Business Computing Essentials is online and it's self-taught. And the web application you will be using is SIMnet by McGraw-Hill. So the way you get access to that is I will register you with an account and you will be charged in your U-bill for the software. You think of this as a textbook and more because the e-book itself is embedded in the SIMnet system. So the basic methodology is that you will first complete an ebook exercise, which is going through the chapter and then completing all the guide me steps as you see them as you go through the chapter. Then you will complete an application project using the specific Microsoft application and again upload it to SIMnet for grading. Then at the end of the unit, then you have an exam. And the exams are simulated. So you are using SIMnet online, but it appears like you are in Word completing the requested tasks, or whatever application besides Word. So you need to be disciplined, you need to self-learn, and you need to use the tools. I do provide short video clips on how to accomplish each of the SIMnet activities. So do watch those first. Also make sure you get access to everything via icon. That is the main course management system that we will be using. I will be sending weekly emails, plus you can email me if anything is unclear with questions. So the Mac can be a little tricky. Mac is from another company, Apple. And so, for the most part, you're fine using your Mac to complete all the work. However, Access does not run on a Mac directly. Therefore, you either have to use a different computer or use something like the university's virtual desktop. I'm not going to talk too much about that at this point, but I do have information on icon on how to use the university virtual desktop. I'll just say that that's like remote computing, where you use your own computer, but you access the remote server, and then you work on it because Access will run there. So you always want to start a project by downloading the start file. And if you're using a Mac instead of a Windows, when you download the start file, you have to be careful and choose the correct start file. There are some differences, and SIMnet has accounted for those differences in the other three applications, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So start with the correct instructions and start file. In general, we are going to accomplish 18 ebook exercises, and each of those are worth 10 points, and then 18 projects. You see there's a coordination for each ebook chapter. You'll also do a project with the application. And then there are 4 unit exams, one for each of the units. So the reason these points vary from what you'll see on SIMnet is because I've created the course to be based on 100% or 1,000 points. So when I upload from SIMnet, I will convert the percent that you receive to points, and that's what you'll see on icon, a coordinating number of points based on the percent accomplished. The other thing I offer is an opportunity to completely pass out of a unit. Now, very few students actually do this, but sometimes somebody has had a lot of experience with one of the applications. Therefore, they would rather not have to do that work when they already know how to use the application. So I provide an opportunity for students to demonstrate their knowledge, and this is through a Passout exam. So just stay abreast of my email communication about when and where you can do those, and they are optional. You don't even have to take a Passout exam, but in essence, the exam is worth the entire total points for the unit. So if you get 90% on a Passout exam, I just apply 90% to the total point score, and then you don't do any work for that unit, and you just choose to accept your Passout exam. So you can try it, and if you don't score that well, then proceed with the normal unit work. When I calculate final grade, I look at the highest between your Passout exam score and the total amount of points for the unit. So you are never penalized for attempting a Passout exam. But if you don't know the application very well, it's probably a waste of time because they are pretty challenging. So pay attention to the schedule on icon as well as my emails. Usually they're going to be due on Saturdays at the end of the week, the assignments, but sometimes it's Sunday for various reasons. And so just pay attention. The tiles on SIMnet also will tell you the due date and time. You can work ahead in this class. You can completely finish the whole course in half the time or sooner, but you cannot work behind. Once the due date has passed, it's too late to do that particular assignment. Icon will be the grade repository. So on SIMnet, you will see your percents. There is a grade book on SIMnet, and every week I will port scores to icon, or in the summer it's at the end of the unit since it happens so much more quickly. Just a comment, if you have special needs, be sure you're on top of that early. Contact me as well as get in touch with the support needed to complete this course. I can adjust, for example, exam time, so that if you have accommodations for more time, I can adjust that so on your SIMnet exams you get that. You just need to get your paperwork to me. Okay, now let's get into SIMnet itself. I'm going to jump over and log in as a temp student as I talk about these categories. Get to the right place. So here I'm logged into Icon Course. Every time you get to SIMnet, you want to be sure you do it from Icon, because there are different SIMnet systems and you may go to the wrong one. So you'll notice here also, this one is for the University of Iowa. That's what you should see when you log in. When you log in, you use your Hawk ID. Then the first time you're going to use the password Hawk student. And right now we don't see any assignments because the fall semester hasn't started yet. I'm doing this video in the summer. And once it's started, you'll see tiles. That's the basic format. They're little squares, and they basically are color coordinated for the type of assignment. But right now I want to mainly talk about this navigation up here. You can click calendar and you'll see assignments that are due according to these days. The default is tiles, so if you click assignments, you're going to see those tiles. I just think those are a little easier to see because they're large, they have the exact date when the assignment is due, and the color coordination makes it easy to see the type of assignment. You have an area for grades. So here is going to be the fall times when these particular assignments are due. You can see for the Word unit we're doing 5 chapters, and then Excel also has 5 chapters, Access 4 chapters, and PowerPoint will have 4 chapters. So those are all ebook assignments. Kind of you see the little book here. Then you have the projects, one for each ebook chapter, and then we have exams and training. I'll talk about the training a little more shortly. Now, this is the area where you want to change your password. The first time you log in, you should do that. Just type the password you want, click Change Password. Here is Help area. And if you click on some of these, what it does is it takes you to SIMnet websites. So it's going to give you a lot of help as well via those opportunities. Or here's their tech support help. And then the library. This is when an assignment has passed and you want to go back to the ebook because then the tile is no longer displayed. So this particular student had an access code for the version 2016. Yours is going to say 2019. But here is the ebook that we are using, Microsoft Office Skills Approach. So you can always go back to anything in the book via the library. So if the Word unit is completely passed and you still want to go back and look at something, you just need to go back through the library link here. This is just showing some things that this particular account had done, so you can see some things are done and some things say to do. So I've just kind of went over those things. I didn't click log out. You know what log out is, and you can see the words for that. So in the course, the things that are graded are the SIMbooks, I just talked about that, then a project, and then the exams. I also have, however, lessons. And lessons are not graded, but they are there to help you review for the exams or more quickly look up something if you can't remember how to do a certain step and you can't remember what chapter it was in the ebook. You can perhaps find it more quickly under lessons. So we will go through that skills book, and we're going to cover each of the 4 to 5 chapters in the unit. And remember, you need to complete the Guide Me steps in order to get the ebook assignment points. You can start it and stop it as long as the due date has not passed. And you just continue working through. It's very easy to get 100% on all those ebook assignments if you just do the steps. On the projects, you actually are using the application. So you have to first download the instruction file and the start file from SIMnet. Then you use the application on a computer to complete the steps that are given in the instruction file. Once you're ready, you upload your completed project to SIMnet for grading. I'm going to have a separate video demonstrating this, but right now I'm just overviewing it. You then will have a grading report, and you have an opportunity to fix things that it took off points for according to the grading report. You have 3 times that you can submit a project for grading. And once in a while, people mess up their file and they get a lower score later, but SIMnet will always take the highest grade, and that's what's displayed in the grade book. So for each unit, I create a training lesson. Again, these are not graded. They are just there as a resource to help you if you can't remember something. Plus, it's very, very good to use this to go through and review prior to taking a unit exam. If I come back to SIMnet and I click Assignments, you will see the different types of tasks here. Lessons, you can just view, none of these are displaying because the semester hasn't started, but you could just view in. Lessons is where these training are. I will have a separate video that goes over this. I've already talked about the Passout exams, so I don't think I'll say anything more at this point. But in general, you can only take exams once. However, you have 3 attempts at each question in the exam. Plus, the exams are timed, so you may not finish if you aren't working at a reasonable pace. In the syllabus, I talk about how much time is allotted. So go back and review there. We've already kind of shown you the displays. You can see the calendar, the tiles. I didn't talk about the list view. Once you log into SIMnet, you'll be able to click these things and see the variations, and you can choose which display type as far as assignments is better for you. I just don't have any assignments to demonstrate that at this time. And then you can filter, only see the training, only see the SIMbooks, etc. by using that side navigation. So the final slide here on this welcome video is that very few people find the need to do this, but if you use some other calendar and you want to see your assignments populated there to help make sure you don't get behind, you can go into SIMnet and get it where your assignments pop to the calendar of your choice if you're using one of these 3. I will provide another video demonstrating how to do this. So that's it for the intro video, and just email me if you have any other questions. Thank you.